A consultant gets tons of emails on a daily basis, most of which are requests for his pricing, his company profile, case studies, and so on. When these emails come in, he has to stop whatever he's doing at the moment, go through his Google Drive and manually search for the right file before manually creating a response to the sender. Now, this may not seem like a lot, but cumulatively, time gets wasted and emails may not be responded to in time. So I built a system that eliminates this manual process. What the system does is it reads incoming emails, writes a draft, and then attach the right file based on the sender's request and sends a notification to the consultant that a draft has been created for his review. So now, even if he's busy, he gets notified that a draft is waiting for him and he can go look it up quickly. So now this is my workflow. We'll go through it node by node. But then before then, this is the Google Drive that contains the core documents that he's being asked for regularly. So we have the capability deck, we have the case studies, all in different files. Then I have my Google Sheet where I actually have the lookup file. So this lookup file is where the AI is actually going to check to see if the document matches the sender's request. If it does, it picks the ID from here and downloads the document from Google Drive and then logs everything in the log tab. So let's say a sender is asking for company profile. The AI comes here and will choose just this company profile document and attach it to the draft it has created. Now, I have my Gmail trigger, then I have my AI model that does the classifying and stuff. So what happens is if the request is actually requesting, if the sender is actually requesting for any of these core documents that are here, what happens is it's going to go through Google Sheets, look up the file, and then if the file is found, it's going to draft a reply. Now, after drafting the reply, it's going to download the right file from Google Drive, create the draft, and then send add a label to the email, log everything in Google Sheets, and then send a notification to the consultant. Now, there might be requests that are not part of the core documents. Now, in such a situation, what happens is this workflow is going to follow this route where it's going to add a label that no file was found and then it's going to allow the consultant. Then if the email is just a regular email, it's not a request, it's just a random email, it's going to follow this path where no draft will be created and the consultant is going to be notified as well. So let's see this in practice. For the sake of this demo, I have three emails that we're going to work with. So let's go check out the first one. So I have this first one here, says vendor documentation needed. So we're going to send this email and test if our work. So as you can see, the email has arrived in the inbox. So I'm going to go execute the workflow to see if it's actually working fine. So let's see. And see it running. Okay, workflow executed successfully. Now let's check. First of all, we'll check our our Google Sheet and see what it has logged here. Okay, you can say it has the time, then the sender, then the subject, vendor documentation needed, document type, company profile. Then this is the merged ID. You can see we've also gotten the Telegram notification right here. So status, we have draft created. So let me click on the Telegram message. You can see draft created for da 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 da, new draft ready. Amiaka asked for company profile. Check Gmail draft to review and send. So this is a notification the consultant is going to get, and let's go check the draft that has been created. So now in our email, you can see I actually created these labels. Drafts created for request, not a request, and request needs review. So now you can see for this email, the draft was created and because it asks for the company profile. So you can see it's under draft created label. So let's click on this. Right. So you can see the email has been created. It says thank you for reaching out. And right here we have the document attached to the email. So this shows that the AI actually understands what needs to be done. All of this was done in seconds. So this eliminates the problem of the consultants having to manually go look for the right file. As you can see, the file has been attached automatically and the draft has been done. The consultant just needs to come and hit send. That's all. Now, what happens when what happens when it's a request but then it's not part of the core documents that he's usually been asked for? Let's see what happens then. For that, we are going to send a second email. This one is asking for a sample contract. So all right, so we're going to send this second email. We're going to hit send. All right, we have our email here. So I'm going to execute the workflow again. So let's hit. So you can see this time the workflow followed this route because yes, it's a request, but it's not part of the core document. So what happens then? Right. So right now you can see the second email has been logged and it says you could have the subject here. One more thing before we sign. Document type is other because it's not part of the 5 core documents. And then it says no match in mapping sheet and status this time file not found. So what is the message, the Telegram message that we are going to that the consultant is going to receive here? You can see the message has popped up. It says real request, but no file matched in the mapping sheet. Check inbox. One more thing before we sign, and then the instruction is given there. Then let's check our email. Okay, now you see, now this email does not have any draft because it's not part of the core document. So it falls under request needs review. As you can see, request needs review. Let's click on it. You can see no draft was created for this one. But for the first one, we have a draft and the file created. So we are going to send the third email. So right now, this is the third email, which of course is just a random newsletter. So we're going to send this and see what happens. Our email has landed in our inbox. So let's go execute the workflow for the third time and see what happens. So now you see this time around the workflow followed the third path because it's not actually a request. So let's check our Telegram, see the message we got. Says not a request, not confident enough to draft. Check inbox, three automation trends. What? So this is the notification the consultant is going to get. So in our Google Sheets, you can see that the third one has been populated as well from sender, and we have the subject, three automation trends worth watching. Now document type is also other, and then no match in mapping sheet, and status now is not a request because that's actually not a request. And then let's go check our email. Right. So now we have one email that has landed in not a request label. So basically, when the consultant comes to his mail, he can easily see the ones that draft has been created for, the ones that are not a request, and the ones that are requests that needs review, because these ones no draft is attached to them because they are not part of his core 5 document. So basically this system eliminates the time that is going to be wasted looking for the right files manually, and then customers get responded to faster. Thank you very much for listening.